Hey guys, thanks for coming back for another episode of Damien Ruins Horror Movies. My name is Damien. Tonight we're going to be looking at Polaroid from 2019. And as usual, this episode is brought to you by Cool Dude Inc. So go click the link in the notes and go make yourself look good. Stick around to the end of the episode where we'll go over the Badass Award, survival tips, and final thoughts. First, we're going to kick it off with the Whiskey Bats, who you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, and if you click the link below, you can check out their YouTube channel. So let's go. This movie is directed by Lars Klevberg, who brought us the Child's Play remake from 2019. At first I wasn't sure what the opening of this movie had to do with the rest of it, because it's none of the same characters. They don't tie into anything else in the movie. Nobody else mentions them. It just seemed like a weird way to introduce the Polaroid camera, but I was looking into it, and the intro is basically a reimagining of the 2015 short film that the rest of this movie is based on. Next, it's picture day at school, and we meet Bird Fitcher.
Want to take that off?
It's Scarf Girl.
No, I'm gonna, keep it on, thanks.
And since when does the cameraman have the right to tell you what you can and can't wear in your picture? Your job is to say smile and push the button. If I want to look stupid, that's up to me. Bird's kind of like a loner outcast. She has a crush on the popular kid in school, Connor, and she's not without her ducky. And she works in the antique shop after school. And her ducky, Tyler, his uncle owns the shop, and he comes in one day and gives her this camera, this Polaroid camera, because he's got a little crush on her. And she's into photography. So she starts checking it out and takes his picture, and he tries to kiss her, and she's like, "Whoa, what are you doing? We're just friends." And it's kind of funny. That's the thing about crushes. Because it's like, while your heart is being broken by somebody else, you're breaking somebody else's heart without necessarily even knowing it. It's that kind of teenage tunnel vision that we never seem to outgrow. Bird goes home, and of course her home life is a mess. It's kind of like her and her mom are roommates, and she's the responsible one. Her friend Casey comes over and talks her into going to a belated Halloween party, which puts this movie in about November, which explains all the snow, kinda. And it really sucks looking up these actors and finding out that they're all born like a year after I graduated. And we see the scar on Bird's neck, which is why she's wearing the scarf all the time, but they never explain how she got the scar. It seems to be addressed a certain amount at the beginning of the movie, and then it's never explained and we never go back to it. She gets to the party, and she awkwardly hangs around until finally being confronted by Connor, who saw her taking his picture earlier, like a creep. And he sees her haunted antique Polaroid camera. Connor and the others decide to take a selfie, and for a moment we get a bit of a social commentary, like in Diary of the Dead.
If it didn't happen on camera, it's like it didn't happen, right?
And in a way I can kind of relate to that, because whenever I talk to people about the past, nobody remembers shit anymore. But Bird has this great idea that she can get them all in a picture with her Polaroid camera. And then Avery, the party host, has to take a selfie with the Polaroid camera. I don't know, because she feels left out. The police show up, but they're not there to bust the party. They want to talk to Bird. They have some questions for her, because it turns out Tyler's dead. And the sheriff was also at the scene the night Bird's dad died. In the morning at school, she finds out that Avery is dead. Fell down some stairs.
Fell down some stairs.
And she instantly starts putting the Polaroid pieces together. As her new group of friends grieve, she introduces her final destination-like theory about how the picture is death's design, and maybe they're all going to die in the order that the pictures were taken, except in the case of the group photo, where they're going to die Back to the Future style, except instead of based by age, it's going to go left to right, or right to left, I forget which. So Devin lights the picture on fire, which ignites his girlfriend Mina's arm on fire. And when he puts it out, the picture regenerates. Now Bird, Connor, and Casey have to work together to solve this case. I'm always irritated when I watch movies like this, and even the outcasts who are supposed to be like these weirdos, they're all good looking. But then at the same time, I get mad when they're not good looking. I'm like, why is this girl so hot? And who's this ugly motherfucker over there? Bird breaks into the antique shop, which is weird because she works there and it's not even nighttime. And she goes in, Connor's in the car waiting for her, and as he's looking at the Polaroid and he notices, because they all thought she was safe, she took the picture, but as he looks closer, in the window behind him, he sees her reflection. She's not safe. She's in as much danger as everybody else is. He figures that out right at the same time that she sees the demon creature thing inside, so he runs in and manages to save her. Then they head to the hospital, and Mina's already dead. And Devin blames Bird, but this is actually all Tyler's fault. He's just off the hook because he did. Connor tries to cheer Bird up, but it's not really working. And she explains to him about the night her dad died in a car accident and how it's her fault because she was being selfish. She was with him. And in the camera bag, they find a loose evidence tag with the date 1974 on it. Homicide. And they go to the library to do a little research. I love how in movies they can just easily hop on a computer and get into all kinds of databases, or go to the library and they find all the old newspapers and it tells them the exact information that they're looking for. I can't even find my mugshot from 1993. It turns out the camera belonged to the old photography teacher, Roland J. Sable, who kidnapped and killed kids and was shot and killed before he could be taken into custody. Hence the initials on the camera, RJS. Bird, Connor, Casey, and Devin regroup, and suddenly Bird's the expert. The camera's haunted. Somehow, like, RJS's soul is in the camera, kind of like Charles Lee Ray becoming Chucky. And RJS has the same limitations as a photograph being developed. He can only come out in the dark, because a picture will develop and less exposed to light, which is kind of weird because it's a Polaroid, which is fairly instant. All you gotta do is shake it like a salt shaker. And Devin starts acting like Carter from Final Destination, like, oh, I'm in control of my destiny, until he accidentally bitch slaps a cop. And downtown, Bird and Connor get the opportunity to tell their story to the sheriff, while Devin's getting locked up. But the sheriff ain't hearing it. And Bird and Connor find RJS's wife's house, somehow. And they talk to her. She eventually lets them in. And it turns out the R does not stand for Roland. It stands for Rebecca, their daughter. Meanwhile, Devin gets killed in his cell. Which, I never really liked Devin anyway. He's kind of a prick. So Rebecca J. Sable was the original outcast back in 1974, and this was her camera. And some of the cool kids in school took some pictures of her, which were a little embarrassing, and she was so humiliated that she killed herself. So her dad went after all of them, and he killed all of them but one. One of them got away. Because that's what dads do. Her dad was a hero. He wasn't some psycho that killed these kids. He went after them for revenge. And he died with the camera in his hand. And that still doesn't explain, like, why the camera's haunted and kills people after it takes pictures of them. But she shows them a picture of the one that got away. It's a teenage version of the sheriff. They go back to the school and the sheriff catches them. And we get our plot twist. Lena Sable's a liar. The sheriff was friends with her. Him and his friends they were all friends with Rebecca. Her dad took those pictures, and they were trying to get her to turn them in, but she wouldn't. And then he went after all of her friends and killed them, and she couldn't take it, so she killed herself. The dates of all their deaths even prove that she died after her friends died. So it turns out the sheriff's a good guy. And seriously, what the hell is a sheriff? I have nothing but sheriffs in my area. No cops, just sheriffs. The Polaroid demon shows up just then and rips the sheriff in half. Now the sheriff's the one that got away. Now he's dead. Shouldn't the demon, like, game over? I won, I'm out. But no, he's got to keep going after these new kids. So Bird takes Casey and hides her in the shower because the demon doesn't like heat.
Hot shower! Hot shower! Hot shower!
And then she takes a Polaroid of herself to get the demon to come after her. She lures him to the dark room and takes a picture of him. Then she destroys the picture and the demon's dead. Damn, Bird's good at figuring shit out. So her and Connor and Case are alive and they throw the camera in the river. The end. But what about that dude's bitch wife? Lena. The Badass Award goes to Bird for magically figuring everything out and saving 40% of her acquaintances. But hey, she saved the important one. Her best friend and her love interest. How convenient. What did we learn?
Survival tales.
Don't photobomb people. And don't bitch slap a cop. Get a digital camera, you vintage fuck.
The social tier of high school, at least when I was a kid, wasn't actually determined on how good looking you were or weren't. Moreover, it was based on the success of your parents. Granted, people could slip through the cracks one way or another. But popularity was won by a different metric. The kids with the richest parents got to decide who was part of the club and who wasn't. As an adult, through the magic of Facebook, I can see girls who are beautiful now, but weren't popular back then, but they were beautiful back then too. And there's quite a few that were popular and beautiful back then, and it just didn't hold up. Yet the fat-ass beer-drinking football player still has a hot wife. It's because his parents are still rich. I was outcasted because shit I was into wasn't cool. And then when it became cool, I was still outcasted because what I liked had nothing to do with it. It was just the tiers of popularity. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. Join my cult. And I will see you guys next time.